Bum, bum,
Oh,
bum.
trigger warning. You are now watching Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Koco crew here, holding it down live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all of wrestling radio. Boom Boom here, second room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, joining me there, way across the pond in Tokyo, Japan, the man desperately in need of a hug, Dave Koco. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much, man. Totally, dude. I've had such a shitty week. I'm so glad that we could just have some time for nerding, some nerds talking about pro wrestling. That's what we need. All right, Booms. Let's hit up a bunch of news stories. If anyone's awake in America or Japan or wherever the hell you're watching this, just leave some comments and we'll rock them later. And I gotta stop sucking. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do I just suck. That's the update. I really suck. Back to you, Booms.
Well, thank you. I'm standing here in my living room in Virginia, and different type of. All right, well, Koco, are you excited, man? You got to be excited for this weekend. You have to be. As a wrestling fan, you've just got to be fucking pumped for this fucking weekend, because this weekend. Dramatic pause.
All right.
Filming starts for season 4 of Lucha Underground.
Fuck yeah, man! I can't wait. I'm gonna, because I got a bad memory. I think I've never marathoned a wrestling show before. I think I'm going to marathon all 3 seasons of Lucha Underground because it's sports entertainment at its highest level. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because WWE, you can watch great matches over and over. Like, I think any wrestling promotion, you can watch great matches over and over. But I don't hear too many people going like, oh, I'm going to watch every episode of Raw in 1988. Maybe it's WWE Network and stuff, but I don't know. I kind of want to watch Lucha Underground episode 1 all the way up to, season 4 all over again. I absolutely love this show, and yeah, I'm gonna marathon it. And I think this is the first time I marathoned a pro wrestling show maybe in forever. Because usually once it's happened, I'm already there. You know what I mean? I'm already like, okay, yeah, I'll just watch the highlights. I'll watch the great matches of that event, but I'm not gonna marathon. Have you ever marathon WWE or any other program or wrestling program?
I remember one time I got on my WWE network and I just started and this is before this was announced, by the way. I just went back and started watching as many war game matches as I could.
Oh yeah, that's good. Well, but still, you're marathoning good matches. You're not actually marathoning shows.
Okay, yeah, true. But
yeah, I'm gonna marathon the whole show. Yeah, I don't think I've done it. I don't know. Yeah, it would be interesting though. Relive the Monday Night Wars again? Nah, screw that. Leave the memories alone. I'm watching Lucha Underground from episode 1 all the way to season 4. It's going to be awesome.
Sounds fun. Now there are some changes that we can expect. Krista Joseph, who we've had here on this show, you can look that up in our archives. Had a great Q&A with him. He's spoken out about it. Now it's looking like here's what's going to happen. I think it should take about roughly a month here, but they're going to film matches on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they're moved to a different location. They're no longer in the temple this season. They've moved from a warehouse, which had 2 benefits to it. One, you could sell more tickets and have a bigger crowd in there, bigger live crowd. And 2, they would actually save money on rent.
Okay,
so I think it's kind of win-win there. And a lot of people was like, oh my God, is it, this could be it. But I'm really not going to bitch about the changes too much, considering that, we may not have had this season, so there's a saying about beggars, Other changes we can expect is that they will be bringing back some talent, but however, it won't be everybody. Obviously, Prince Puma is not coming back because he signed with WWE. But even though they've had some trouble with, they're no longer working with AAA, I have heard that Phoenix and Pentagon Dark will be back. Mascarita Sagrada will be back. In the first week of shooting, there's supposed to be 5 new talents coming in. They have not said who they are or what they're going to do. So I'm excited to hear about that. They're very good about, that's what I love about Lucha Underground. They're very good about teasing stuff. They're very good about generating some interest. They've got that going on. The talent will be recording some, the vignettes, the promos, the backstage stuff, whatever during parts of the week. There should be around 20 some odd episodes, similar like season 2, which in a way, Coco, I'm actually okay with less. I actually thought I would be upset, about, they're, oh, no, I'm not getting as many episodes. But I feel like when they have shorter time, they tend to tell better stories because they kind of get to the point and they don't have like filler episodes. They don't have like tournaments or anything. They just kind of get to the point and keep moving.
Well, and also too, like, because it is a smaller organization, even though we love it, and it's a smaller organization, those shorter seasons, less stuff could go wrong. Like a lot of times, the longer seasons, they're like, well, we're going to take a break, come back, record, and some of the talent's gone, some of the storylines don't match up. I'd rather just have shorter seasons and it be the vision that they wanted. You know what I mean? And not, just random shit thrown in there because they have to fill up episodes.
Yeah. The whole theme this season is going to be death and rebirth. I'm interested to see where this goes particularly with like Dario Cueto. Did he survive the shooting? If so, what's going to go on? I've heard they've got some individual backstage sections. They've made like new set pieces. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm very, very excited for this, and I really do wish Lucha Underground the best of luck.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, like, to me, the best wrestling in the world is New Japan, and the best sports entertainment in the world is Lucha Underground. So if you're one of those guys that are like, hey, I like pro wrestling for the athletes, you should be watching New Japan. If you're like, hey, I like it for the entertainment, you should be watching Lucha Underground.
One thing I'm actually curious about is how is Lucha Underground going to handle Sexy Star? Because from what I believe, she's coming back. But remember, she's been persona non grata since the Rosemary incident at Triple Mania back in August.
And this is I live in Japan, and I don't want to get like too political or stuff, but it just seems on every aspect of the news and every aspect of, life in general, not just politics, but just in stories and news and people's reactions, we don't forgive like we used to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I don't know, maybe we shouldn't forgive or we should forgive, but it just seems like this generation, and I'm an outsider, I don't live in America. I just get my news from Facebook, so I imagine it's not exactly the best source. But it just seems like people are so not willing to forgive people on shit all the time. And I always wonder how long should someone be punished for? And Dave, maybe they should be punished for a long time.
I understand what you're saying, but I think what got Sexy Star in the hot water was the fact that she did not apologize for it. She didn't show any remorse for it. It was just like, whatever, shit happens. And it's like, this wasn't like somebody that she had a beef with. This was, I can't, I'm sorry, I'm blanking here. The other two, I know Ayaka Hamada was in there. Rosemary, I cannot think of the third one. Was the third one? She was afraid of Taya. They had a beef with each other. If they would have shot on that, maybe I would have understood. But Rosemary had absolutely nothing to do with anything going on in that ring, and Sexy Star took advantage of her. Then tried to make a bunch of shit up. Tried to bury it. Whatever. Tried to put it off. And I think that is what pissed people off.
Gotcha.
Is the fact that she didn't just go, what? I'm sorry. I lost my temper. I apologize. I shouldn't have done that. I think if that would have happened, it would have blown up. It's like, okay.
But then you also have the place where it's fake apologies. I don't know. I just think the news right now in the world on every aspect is not like, it's almost unforgiving. It's just like, oh, we can't forgive him. We can't forgive him. We can't forgive him. And eventually there'll be no one left to entertain us. No one left to like run anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And obviously different crimes fit different punishments, but it just seems to me that it's like, oh, this guy did this in 1986. His career is over, where back in the day you just be like, hey, but then I don't know, because like, I'm not saying Sexy Star is right. I'm just thinking out loud. Like, we also tired of bullshit apologies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know. Because, like, even with Michael Elgin and all that shit going on right now, I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah,
I,
did a little
I,
story on it last week.
yeah, I find it to be interesting. Like, how far do these punishments go? How far is it? I don't know. It's to me, it's an interesting topic. But would you book a Sexy Star if you were Lucha Underground? Let's say you have the hat, you're in charge of Lucha Underground. Do you bring Sexy Star back?
I feel like I need to because she's been there since season one. In the context of that universe, yes, I would definitely bring her back. Now, as far as how she's being presented, I don't know yet.
Gotcha. All right, yeah. So I'm super excited for Lucha Underground.
Okay.
All right, what else we got, brother?
Yeah, speaking of women's wrestling, I need some help pronouncing this name because I don't want to do her disjustice. But she was on Lucha Underground I believe last season. Was one of the Joshi ninjas. Is it Io Shirai? You know who I'm talking about with Stardom?
Yeah, yeah, from Stardom. What a time for. First off, I want to just give a quick shout out to Ronald Booth. We've been very inconsistent on this show, so anytime we get a live viewer, much love. What a time to be. If you're a women's wrestling fan, what a great time to be here. I mean, I feel so bad for the Gail Kims and the Molly Hollies not being, in their prime during this generation in Victoria, you know, because right now women's wrestling is probably some of the best in the world, and Stardom is doing amazing things. And thanks to Ronda Rousey and Stephanie McMahon pretending she's a feminist, um, what a great time for women's wrestling. And yeah, she's absolutely amazing. And like I said, I don't follow women's wrestling as some of her
I
big
haven't
as
told
much
you
as
what
her
the hell's
audience
going
does.
on.
So yeah, she's absolutely amazing, and yeah, it's fucking gonna be great. I can't wait.
I was actually asking if I was pronouncing the name right. And you're like, oh my god, she's so amazing. She's so
Oh yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Well, here's the secret of Japanese, and I'm horrible at Japanese, says the guy who lives in Japanese. Always break it up by 2 or 3 letters, like Ichiro, Kokotis. That's how they pronounce it. So like when you're totally fucked, just go with that, and then they'll
Yeah.
try to correct
So
you.
if I mispronounce the name, I do apologize. But here's something interesting. See, right now, Ring of Honor is doing a Women of Honor tournament. They're trying to crown the first ever Women of Honor champion, and Io Shirai turned down that spot, and it was like, why? And because Wrestling Observer, Uncle Dave, is reporting that she is hoping to be medically cleared by WWE at some point, and she felt like maybe if she showed up for Ring of Honor, that could hurt her chances of being signed. Now, if you remember, they offered her and Kairi Sane, contracts at the same time, but after Shariah took her physical, they found something that they didn't like. It was a neck injury, some kind of issue, so they rescinded the offer. So what's going on now is reportedly that Io is now trying to rehab that neck, trying to get all the neck issues cleared up, and then she's hoping to go leave Japan and sign with WWE eventually. Which I do wish her the best of luck. And this is not unprecedented. The same thing happened with Jazzy Gabbert. Jazzy Gabbert was in the Mae Young Classic. That big German girl. They promoted the hell out of her, but she lost in the first round, and I was a little baffled by it. But I was like, oh, maybe they're going to sign her, and they were going to, but then again, they discovered a neck issue, so she recently underwent neck surgery to clear up those issues, so that way she would have a chance to be signed by WWE. So, what do you think about this move, man?
I just think it's an amazing time to be a women's wrestling fan. I think she's going to do great. So hopefully she does good. Good.
No, I'm interested, and I also want to wish Ring of Honor just the best of luck. They just launched Honor Club
Yeah, yeah.
recently,
Is that like WWE Network?
Yeah, it's exactly like the WWE Network, but
How much it
it's
cost?
it depends on what. Actually, I'm actually kind of glad you asked about that. It's got a three tier system.
Oh,
It's
Jesus Christ. That's
well,
confusing. Go on.
you can be a member like um they've got 3 plans to choose from. You can either choose to spend $9.99 a month, or you can do a 1 year subscription for $99.99. So that'll save you So basically, if you get the annual one, you'll actually save about roughly $20. And then they have the VIP.
All right,
And
what do you get for the VIP?
that's what I'm looking at right now.
Do you get champagne and a hand job from Austin Aries in the back room? What do you get for the VIP, Booms?
It's actually $119.99. I believe with that, I think you get some.
Merch?
Yeah, I think you get like discounts with the merch shops. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and early access to tickets, special discounts and promotions, just various, just various, I guess, little goodies.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the future. I can't wait for these channels to start combining, though. You know, like
I'm actually surprised them in New Japan don't work out some kind of deal.
oh, they probably, I imagine they will in the future. But WWE, like, if they really ran it like a network, I would have just put Ring of Honor, TNA, and New Japan on their shit. You know, because like UFC is like that. You go watch UFC and you get a lot of the other feds. You know what I mean? So I really think this is the future of pro wrestling. And I mean, it's pretty obvious this is the future of pro wrestling. Sorry, I live in the mean streets of Kawasaki.
Yeah.
But Scott Steiner, is that you? Um, what'd you call it? What was I saying? But I think this is the future of pro wrestling. But with that said, there has to be a point break. You know what I mean? Where there's too many. Because right now, you know, granted, I'm sharing them because I'm lazy. But you got WWE, New Japan, and I probably might get Ring of Honor. But then, like, it almost gets to the point where there's just too much content. And if it was just one big, you know what I mean? Like, Booms, you have two, right? How many networks do you have?
I've got two. I've got two.
I mean, but that's still a lot of fucking content. That's a lot of content with just New Japan World and just WWE. Then you have Ring of Honor. You probably got TNA. I imagine NWA. You know what I mean? And then you got the High Spots one, WWN. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Okay. Awesome. Here's one detail about the VIP is that VIP. This package includes all the wonderful features of the standard membership, but also gives you free access to all ROH pay-per-views.
Oh, interesting. So, but wait. So you don't, if you get the $9.99, you don't get the monthly pay-per-views?
Let's take a look here.
Yeah, this starting to become bullshit. Fuck your network, Ring of Honor. I want everything for $9.99 because I'm a spoiled bitch. Here's my question. I'm going to read a question from the chat room. Much love for those guys. But here's my question for those in the comments in the chat room. How many networks do you see yourself in the future comfortably buying? You know, of course, you're going to have those super fans that buy every fucking network. And God, man, I tip my hat to you, man. But I can't see getting more than 3 networks. What do you think? Like, it Booms, money's not an issue. It's more of a time thing. Well, money's kind of an issue, but
yeah,
how many networks do you see yourself getting at your peak? Because right now we get the two main ones, at least in my opinion.
If I was going to go up, I maybe would go up one more, but that's it. After that, I'm done. I mean, I just can't get subscriptions for like every fucking promo, for every promotion here.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, if you get like the standard membership, you get half off all Ring of Honor pay-per-views.
Oh fuck that! I'm out. Like, I'm out.
Yeah, I think
no.
yeah, you have to, like, if you
I get fucking Wrestle Kingdom, WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, fucking the G1, all for $9.99, and I got to pay $9.99 for what? A fucking TV show that you don't book properly? I'm out. I mean, I don't want to shit on Ring of Honor, but that's literally my opinion. If I went there and said, "Oh, $9.99, cool," you got to pay extra for the pay-per-views, I'm out. You know, you gotta fucking, like, that's the thing. The problem with, like, I went to a indie event this week in Japan, and Japan indies and also networks are having the same problem. You're charging us for the same amount for the bigger companies, and in Ring of Honor's case, more. Like, I went to what was it called? Shit, Dual Stars. I apologize. I went to some indie fed in Japan. I'll look it up in a second. I think it's DSW. I have no idea, but my friend was on it. And if my friend wasn't on it, there's no fucking way I'd be on that goddamn card. It's like, oh, $50 to see New Japan or $50 to see a local independent. It's like, you have to price it right. And I'm not knocking Ring of Honor, but in WWE and New Japan, I think are bigger and better. I mean, that could be a debate, depending on this.
Here's the thing.
But you get everything on those channels.
With their pricing tiers, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to get the annual subscription. Because if you look at, okay, let's just round it here just because I don't feel like saying $9.99 and $1.99. Fuck that. Okay, $10. $10 a month. Okay, if you're gonna go ahead and spend that money, you might as well go ahead. I guess maybe that's the whole point, is go ahead and get the VIP, because for the full year you'll get everything that they have to offer. Whereas they don't want you to. Whereas if you spend $10 and still have to pay for the pay-per-views, or get the annual and still have to pay for pay-per-views.
This is really fucking dumb, because this is really dumb. The more I'm thinking about it, because if you're a sports entertainment fan, you're going to get the network. If you're a wrestling fan, you're going to get New Japan World. Ring of Honor, what? This is really dumb. They got.
I guess what they're doing is they're trying to say, well, you can either kind of half-ass get it for like the month or whatever. You still have to pay for the pay-per-views, but if you want to get the pay-per-views for free, just go ahead and get the VIP, and that way they know they've got you in. You're locked for a year. $120, which is what you would spend anyway if you just got it per month. I guess this is just.
I guess they want the money up front. So yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound that bad if you put it like that. But if there's no way I'd pay monthly, because it doesn't make sense. I don't want to make fun of Ring of Honor, but if you pay the $9.99 and you don't pay for the fucking year, you're a fucking idiot. Like, it's not. I know, but still. It's bad business. It's just bad business. It's not good. Fucking Ring of Honor. And that's the thing. That's what WWE Network and New Japan and Netflix is doing to their competition. It's almost got to the point that it's like, oh, that's just fucking dumb. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now it is set that $9.99 you get everything. That's what it's set at. And now you're like, oh, well, $9.99 and you still got to buy pay-per-views. Like, as a fan, I'm out. Like, I don't give a fuck if Ring of Honor has great pay-per-views or not. I'm like, I'm out. You know what I mean? And I'm sure I'm not the only one. But maybe they just want those 120.
Yeah, they want that $120 up front. I mean, you're going to get it for the whole year, and you're going to get free pay-per-view. So instead of just, well, I'm going to go by the month. No, I guess the idea is to commit you to like a whole year. You spend a whole year watching Ring of Honor, and maybe you'll renew your subscription. I think maybe they'll tweak the.
They have to tweak theirs.
They'll have to, but I think they got to get that first year out of the way, because they dropped a shit ton of money to make this happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish Ring of Honor luck, but I'm just saying, for $9.99 and I don't get the pay-per-views, I don't know. You better have a good product, because the thing is, because $9.99 is the perfect point, because when you go to start saving money and cutting shit, you're like, oh, it's only $9.99. Okay, I'm in. You know what I mean? But when it's like December and you're like, you got to pay another $120 again, that's a harder pill to swallow. I know it sounds stupid, but because you have two networks and it's $9.99, bam, you're like, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. To me, paying $9.99 a month for everything, I don't even think about it. But because even though I don't watch the WWE Network as much as I should, I don't watch New Japan World as much as I should. But $9.99, I fucking Booms. I know you're fucking making the big bucks over there in America. $9.99 credit card charge. Do you even fucking consider that like something you think about?
To be honest, not really.
Yeah, but 120 one time a year is different.
Yeah, it's one thing, and then also another thing is that, if I start, okay, I'm spending $20 a month just to watch wrestling when I really break it down. God, that's fucking sad. But now that I break it down, but if now all of a sudden I had another subscription, now I'm paying $30 and $40 and $50 a month. I mean, that gets ridiculous, and it's just kind of like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Can I? do I even have the time to commit here? Because I really don't, you know, I really don't
It
watch
is a
WWE
time
Network, with
issue.
the exception. The only reason I watch, only reason I still have my subscription to WWE is so I can watch NXT. That's it. I'm
Yeah.
paying. Now that I think about it, I'm paying $10 a month just to watch NXT.
Well, maybe Triple H could turn around 205, so there'll be two good shows on there. Why don't they bring it back the goddamn cartoon by the Robot Chicken guys? That was my favorite thing on the WWE Network.
Camp WWE? I have no idea.
Dude.
It's been renewed.
Camp WWE is the greatest thing WWE ever made.
I
I don't care if anyone disagrees. I think it's the greatest thing that they've ever made.
I want them to do another season of Legends House.
Dude, that was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my
life. Best. Fuck you.
All right, down in the comments. Legends House. Best thing ever or worst thing ever?
Speaking of Legends, Dave Coco, check the temperature in hell because I'm pretty sure it just dropped dramatically. Jeff Jarrett going into the WWE Hall of Fame. I know I talked about this a little bit last week, but I definitely want to get your reaction to this because it's confirmed. They confirmed it this past Monday. He's going into the WWE Hall of Fame. There's talks about how this happened, but Coco, you and I both know how Jeff Jarrett left WWE, and I spoke about this last week when Vince McMahon bought WCW and they did that little crossover show. Jeff Jarrett was the first person he fucking fired.
Yeah, he went out of his way.
Yeah, so just the fact that this is happening just blows my fucking mind. So, one, did you ever think this would happen? And two, do you think he's deserving?
One, I think it's gonna happen because first off,
according to the internet, it's gonna happen.
No. I mean, hold on, but I always thought it was gonna happen for one reason. Triple H has got to be the smoothest talker ever. He got Stephanie, he got Bruno, he got Warrior. Like he just goes, he probably just shows up and like I can picture him being the smoothest salesman ever. And I don't know if I know this sounds weird. I don't know if Jeff Jarrett is WWE Hall of Fame worthy for his WWE career. I think he is Hall of Fame worthy for his whole pro wrestling.
He was an Intercontinental champion. He was a European champion. He had that.
He put China over.
Yeah, put China over, and that's where all the controversy. That's where all that shit went down was because of that China match.
Yeah.
He also was a WCW heavyweight champion. He started TNA.
Yeah, Global Force. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I just think if for his whole career and not just WWE. And yeah, I'm glad Jeff Jarrett's getting in. He deserves it. I'm a big fan of Jeff Jarrett. I think Jeff Jarrett gets a lot of shit that he shouldn't.
For those of you who may not know what I'm talking about with the whole China incident, the whole idea was that Jeff Jarrett was the Intercontinental Champion, and his contract was coming up, and he was going to leave the then WWF, but he still had the Intercontinental Championship. And the pay-per-view that he was supposed to drop the belt on was like a day after his contract expired, and basically he had some leverage because WWF was worried about another Medusa incident where, remember when she showed up on Nitro and dropped the women's championship in the trash. They were worried about some kind of shit like that happen, that he would just take off, no show the pay-per-view, pop up on Nitro on Monday with the WWF Intercontinental Championship. So reportedly, and I don't know if this is true or not, but
Jeff Jarrett does deny it in interviews.
Yeah, but the story goes. Now this is I'm just saying what we've heard. This is not us saying this, but reportedly he held up the WWE for $250,000 for him to show up at the pay-per-view, job to China, and then leave WWF. And Vince McMahon never forgave him for it, allegedly. So that's just the story. And now,
if Jeff Jarrett got $250,000 from Vince, if this story is true, he made more money at one night than most Intercontinental champions make in their career. To me, I don't think the story is real. But I'm sure he probably held up and they just made up giant numbers. But I don't know. But nowadays, WWE is such a monopoly. They just be like, all right, that belt doesn't exist anymore. Like that's it. They just be like, all right, like they become such a powerhouse because back in the day it was WCW and WWE and they had to negotiate and had to worry about shit like that. Can you imagine that really happening today? Like, let's say Dolph Ziggler was in the same situation as Jeff Jarrett, and Dolph Ziggler's like, I'm going to leave with the U.S. title. Vince would just be like, all right, the U.S. title just doesn't exist anymore. That's it. Moving on. Like I can't picture them, bending over backwards for anybody these days.
All right, Coco, I gotta ask you
Times
this
have changed.
because we played this game every fucking year, and this year's gonna be no exception. Who's not in the WWE Hall of Fame that should be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, the first name that bounces off everyone's lips is Owen Hart.
Which ain't gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. I don't know.
I should have prefaced that. Name somebody not named Owen Hart that needs to go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's weird because I actually forget. Has Bam Bam Bigelow in the Hall of Fame? I'd like to see Bam Bam Bigelow go if he's not. I apologize for not knowing. I don't know. The WWE Hall of Fame has been doing really well these last couple of years with, getting the people that got to get in. I don't know. Owen Hart is the only one I can think of right on the spot without being prepped. What do you think?
There's a couple. There's actually about 3 names that come to mind. I would like to see Vader go in.
Yeah, especially because of his health issues.
Because I want him to go into the Hall of Fame and give his speech. Because I mean, supposedly he's only got 2 years to live. Vader, man, he's taking it like a fucking trooper. He's still wrestling. He's still doing his fucking thing. So I hope he lives. So that's the reason why I want him to go in, because I want him to show up while he's still in relatively good health, give his own fucking speech, tip his cap, and say thank you before he fucking dies. Because I think if he dies, no, come on, you've got every opportunity. Please, just do this.
That's a great point.
That's the reason why. The other person, I would say Giant Baba.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Well, a lot of Japanese wrestlers. Is Muda in there? Muda's in there, right?
I think Muda's in there. Let me take a look. I know Tatsumi Fujinami is, and I know Antonio Inoki is.
Yeah.
I don't think Muda. I'm going to go back and double check, but I don't think Muda's in, because Muda would go in there.
Yeah, I think a lot of Japanese wrestlers and a lot of luchadors need to go in.
Yeah, they got Mil Mascaras, but they don't have Blue Demon Jr.
Well, I think with just to even it out, like, for a while, because I think the WWE Hall of Fame has really improved from a couple years ago. From a couple years ago, this list was long as fuck. But now they're improving. But I think what they should do is bring in one luchador and one Japanese legend once a year. You know what I mean?
Do that. Unfortunately, this is what they tend to do. By the way, the Muda's not in there. Typically, what WWE does is it's become like a show, because you've got to have like this Hall of Famer that, like, when I say the Hall of Famer, like the headliner, like this uber legend. Then you have somebody who's kind of local or regional. Then you got to have the woman. Then you got to have the minority, and then you got to have the posthumous induction.
Yeah. I think they got to add luchadors and Japanese wrestlers to that.
And here's another one, and I don't know why they're not in here. They've already gotten the Ganyas in. Why don't they have the Crockett's?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Crockett's would be. I think the Crockett's are perfect to go in.
Yeah, so it should be interesting. But I guess my guess is that they'll get in when they're local. They'll be a local wing,
and it doesn't help if they go back. I mean, they're back in New Orleans for the first, within 5 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, but the WWE Hall of Fame has improved tremendously over the last couple of years. Yeah, I remember we used to do this on the radio, and this was like a 20-minute segment of people that should have been in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And nowadays, we're just like Owen Hart, Japanese stars, and luchadors. So, I don't know. Is there, besides, and Owen Hart is a tricky situation. Besides that, I guess there's the controversial thing, and I don't think it'll ever happen. But Chris Benoit, you know what I mean? That's not going to happen, but it comes up online a lot. So, yeah. But I think more Japanese and luchadors have to get in. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you're going to have to open it. And I think they kind of opened that door, because they do have Mil Mascaras. They do have Carlos Colon in there. And so I think the idea is there is just, I think they're being very slow about it. I mean, they've had, a couple of years ago, they put Jackie in. They've put in Teddy Long.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem I have with people that want to put in the put in people in the Hall of Fame is they automatically start talking about dead people. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve to be in like an Owen Hart. But here's the thing. If I have a choice right now, if I can either induct Vader or Owen Hart, I'm choosing Vader. Why? Because Vader can fucking show up. Vader can give his own speech, talk about the things he wants to talk about, his career, and then tip his cap.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think especially for the older wrestlers or the wrestlers that are, in a danger zone as far as health goes, I think they should get a pass to the front. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know like an Edge or an Undertaker, they're headliners, but you have to, I don't know. It's, in my opinion as a fan, I want, like you said, I want to see them give their own speeches. That's a big deal, and if they're close, all that. So yeah, I agree with you. Vader should get in. I wonder, there should be like an online push for that shit.
Yeah, put in Vader. I know there's an online push to put in the British Bulldog.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks, Twitter. They're like, you went to Diamond Stars Wrestling, jackass. Thanks, Twitter. I knew I went to some wrestling event this week. That's when you know you're punch drunk, when Twitter tells you where the fuck you've been. I'm like, I don't know. I went to go see the gentleman Mike, Dandy gentleman from England. He's my homeboy. And I don't fucking know what company it was. Matter of fact, I did get like almost ringside seats. And I wore the wrong shirt. Because normally if I get ringside seats, I'm not like, I don't know, especially if like, friends wrestling or like, I don't want to be a disrespectful cunt. I like to wear the company's like shirt, like, because you're like, oh, I sit in front row. It's kind of cool. I'm supporting the company. But I didn't even mean to be disrespectful. I actually wore the wrong shirt. I was like, I showed up to the arena. I'm like, oh fuck, it's not land ending. Oh well, this is gonna be awkward. Sitting in the front row wearing a competitor's shirt. I'm one of those Bullet Club American dickhead fans. All right, so let's see. We got a comment held for review. That doesn't sound like us, YouTube. Much love to Ronald Booth. I'm gonna just go through these live comments so you get the next story ready, Booms.
All right.
Yuri Blake says, can Bullet Club sell 10,000 seats if they bring CM Punk for the event? Definitely in Chicago, yes.
Oh, it'll be standing room only if they get CM Punk.
Yeah. Yuri Blake, Camp WWE was awesome. It was. Seriously, Camp WWE is the greatest thing. Camp WWE is like one of the few things that I rewatch over and over and over on the WWE network. It was so good. Compared to like for WWE type comedy, it was so good, and it makes their comedy on Raw just look dumb as shit. I love Camp WWE. If loving Camp WWE is wrong, I don't want to be right. Yuri Blake agrees. The J Rock Freak agrees with you. Legends House was awesome. Legends House was fucking retarded. I hated Legends House. Yuri Blake says hell froze over twice in the space of a year. Last year with Jim Cornette, and this year with Jeff Jarrett. Climbing.
Now Cornette. Now that was that. Yeah, he needs to go in with the Midnight Express.
Well, is Jim Cornette in? According to Yuri Blake, he's already in.
No, he. Let's take a look here. I know that he inducted the Rock and Roll Express. That's who. Yeah, he inducted him, but no, as far as I know, he's not in there.
Yeah.
I'm looking just a different.
I'm gonna keep reading. You look. Alex Platt says, "Good to see you guys didn't die. Don't worry, the week is still very fucking young."
Yep.
Oh man, what, dude? My daughter's staying with me lately, and like I have a habit of helping people, and like last night I went to go help people, like in the middle of the night, like just go help them, and like, oh, I'm in trouble, help me. Okay, I'm in trouble, help me. And my daughter wakes up, and she's like, Dad, you're like a real life superhero. You're like Batman. If Batman was poor and got punched in the face a lot. I'm like, thanks, Tycho. Thanks. Why are we hiding messages? I don't know. Why is the message held for review? What the fuck is going on, YouTube? Alex Platzel says, the Hall of Fame is just a marketing tool for Vince. If he doesn't give a fuck about wrestling, I don't give a fuck about his Hall of Fame. I enjoy seeing certain people get their moment, but the Hall of Fame is not legit to me. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. If it's legit or not, it's up to you. But I still think Legends having a spotlight is a good thing. You know what I mean? I think it's a good thing. But I like people that are saying it's bullshit. Vince McMahon's not the guy. But I think that's why Triple H mostly handles it. That's just my opinion. And for some reason, this one's held back. Yuri Blake says Stone Cold line on Camp WWE. Hey, Stephanie, ready to ride the Stone Cold coaster with this speeds of up to fuck your miles per hour? That line was gold. Dude, all right, I'm gonna marathon Lucha Underground and Camp WWE. That's it, Booms. Let's next week. We should just have shows where we just talk about shit that's way too old. I know if James Legend wants to come back and do that. I'm gonna do a Camp WWE review. Raw reviews get the views, but the Camp WWE reviews, that gets the heart. That gets the heart, the soul, the determination. Yeah. I love Camp WWE. There. I don't know which I love more. Camp Boobs, I fall in love very fast.
Yes, you do.
But which do I love more, the XFL or Camp WWE?
Man.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think you're probably going to love, Camp WWE.
All right. I love them both. I'm not going to lie. But then the thing is, I heard they're not going to bring back the Hitman and the Rage, so that's a little sad. All right, Booms. Let's some news stories, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to do tonight.
How about nothing? That's what you need to do. Go to sleep.
I'm really thinking about going to sleep, bro. I'm really thinking about going to sleep. I might, because I have like 4 or 5 friends messaging me. I might do the old I'm with them, but not be with them. Like I'll tell Group A friends I'm with Group B, and I'll tell Group B friends I'm with Group A, and Group C I'll be like, fuck off, I'm on Group A and Group B, and then I'll be just sleeping here playing fucking NHL.
Meanwhile, Dave Koco will be sitting in his apartment naked in a beanbag eating Cheetos.
The good life, brother. The good life. Good. All right, let's focus on a couple more news stories and wrap this bad boy up.
All right, quick. Okay. This one right here, and I think this is a good talker here, is Luke Gallows is basically encouraging the Young Bucks to sign with WWE. He did an interview with Sky Sports, and I'm going to start quoting here. This is Luke Gallows, and this is him basically. He's trying to put the sales pitch to the Young Bucks to sign with WWE someday. He says, and I quote here, I hope the Young Bucks come in. I think they're highly, highly talented. And if you want to make your market sports entertainment, if you want to make your name goes down the annals of sports entertainment history, you absolutely have to come to WWE. This is the pinnacle. It doesn't get any bigger than this. There's no bigger worldwide stage than WWE. So I think the Young Bucks owe it to themselves to come out here and thrive. Japan is a great place to wrestle, but WWE is a worldwide platform, and you can't beat that. Their reach is all across the world, unquote.
What happened? What happened? What happened to you? What happened to you? I don't know. I think the Young Bucks will eventually go there, but I don't know. If I was the Young Bucks right now, I wouldn't. You're the hottest fucking thing in the world without WWE. I'd just ride that shit out, and then as soon as I started losing popularity, I'd be like, all right, I'll go and job to the Hardys. I'm out, bitches. I don't know. Because there is something about fucking rebelling against the system that's awesome, that's missing these days. Because really the Young Bucks are kind of like the ECW of now. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, fuck it, we don't need you. Look, we can do it on our own. And it's kind of cool. As an American, I like that shit. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Because, like, the saddest part would be to see the Young Bucks go to WWE and them just being fucking shitted on. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Here's a quick question. You're the Young Bucks. Put on your Young Bucks cap there, Booms.
Okay.
When do you go to WWE, or do you just not? Like, what's your strategy here? You sell T-shirts. You're part of the Elite. Cody Rhodes and fucking Kenny Omega are fucking paper, rock, scissoring to see who's the fucking champion of the universe. What do you do with your Young Bucks?
If I'm the Young Bucks, I'm just going to go till I have no other option, because then this is going to be, and that's not a knock. What I'm saying is the Young Bucks are just like the Bullet Club. These guys are great at reinventing themselves. They're marketing geniuses. They find a way to keep themselves fresh. They keep They find a way to keep themselves popular. I mean, the whole Bullet Club stuff and Hot Topic, that was them. Being the Elite, that was them. Being the Elite YouTube channel. Check that out, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to it. That's fucking amazing. That's the Young Bucks. They're making money hand over fist, with their merchandise sales. And they can they got sweetheart deals. They can pretty much go anywhere they want, do anything they want to do. And I don't know why they would want to give that up. I mean, hell, they would have to take a pay cut when you think about it to go to WWE. So I would probably go till it's like, well, I think maybe my indie career's over. Then you can go to WWE because WWE is always going to be there. These guys are young. I'm sorry, I was going to make a Young Bucks joke, but I'm not going to. I'm above that. No, they're young. They could do whatever they want. They're popular. They're a hot commodity. Why would they want to give that up? So I would just keep doing what they're doing until basically the indies get fed up with them, which I don't think is going to be anytime soon. Yeah. Or they just go, okay, maybe we're starting to slow down. We can't do all the flippy flips and loopy loops anymore. It's taking a toll on our body. Okay, now let's go to WWE. And then they
but they're so like, and I know I'm gonna sound old, but they're so fucking cool that I think like even if fucking they couldn't do the flip diddy do shit, they could still get over with characters.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just saying where they physically just couldn't do that much anymore, and they were starting to slow down. Then I could probably see them doing that. But I want to take some exceptions to Luke Gallows' comments. This whole idea that yes, WWE is the biggest stage worldwide, but to say that your career would be a failure, and I'm not saying he's saying that they would be a failure, but to say that your career wouldn't be as complete without going to WWE is fucking bullshit. I mean, you can make a good name for yourself, and you can make a decent living without ever stepping foot in a WWE ring ever.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think. I'm going to read a comment here because he says it best. Alexander Platt says, Gallows got the Kool-Aid injections. Boom is right. The Bucks would be insane to go to WWE right now. Considering pathetic merch percentage WWE's guys get, they'd probably lose money. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, yeah. I don't know what the fuck's he's
okay, because here's what would happen, and this is just my opinion. Here's what would happen if the Young Bucks went to WWE. Okay, they signed. There's a big press release. The Young Bucks, they're joining. We're going to let them keep their name. That's how much we love them. We're going to let them keep their name. First, they're going to send them to NXT. NXT, they're going to learn the WWE style, the WWE production, how they do things, how to get ready for TV. And I don't suspect that. I think they might get a tag team championship run, but that would be about it. I think they would maybe.
I disagree with that.
Well,
no. This is not so opinion. I think they would go straight to WWE. I don't think they would waste them in that.
That would be worse. That would actually. And here's why it would be worse. Because you saw what the fuck they did to what they did to the Ascension. Yeah, it's gonna be about 10 times worse for the fucking Young Bucks. They will get a big pop. They'll say, "Hey," and then they will get the shit kicked out of them for at least the next 6 fucking months.
Yeah, but I think because of merch sale alone, they'd have to send them right to the Fed, right to WWE. So yeah. All right. Anything else going down in the hood, brother? Or are we gonna wrap this up?
Nah, let's just go ahead and wrap it up.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Booms, plug a bunch of stuff. Why scratch myself?
Okay, I want to tell everybody to check us out at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. If you're moving around on the interwebs, I want you to go to Amazon.com and look up Operation Freak Show by one Dave Koco. It's a very pivotal, it's a very gritty action thriller here. It tackles the subject of vigilante justice. What do you do when the system fails you? It's a tale. It's a riveting tale about gentlemen who are sick and tired. They want to stand up for the defenseless. So they don luchador mask and attack pedophiles, Death Wish style. So worth checking out.
All right, so yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'm hoping to do more shit. Booms. You know what I miss? Let's talk about one thing you miss in pro wrestling. It could be something weird, because when we were talking about the Young Bucks, I miss Steve Corino and his super kick party commentary.
Super kick!
I miss it. I gotta watch a YouTube highlight video. I miss Steve Corino and his super kick party.
When he was Mr. Wrestling 3 and he had the super kick meter.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love. What the fuck? How come Steve Carino is so awesome? That's my question of the night. What's something you miss? Something random that you miss in pro wrestling?
I miss like I think it's like the like managers, valets, the proper use of them. It's just little bitty things, and the announcers. I think I honestly think WWE, if they would cut down to like two people and they would just focus on what's going on in the ring, the show would be much more enjoyable. It's just, I mean, it's little things like that.
I don't like the bickering
Yeah,
on commentary because they're not good at it.
yeah.
Like,
Everybody wants to be Gorilla and Heenan. You
yeah, but they
can't
were
do that.
awesome. I know who,
They
and
can't do
also
it.
like Jr. and Heyman were great. That's the only time I liked Jr. By the way, I know this is like a very unpopular opinion, but I thought like Jr. and Heyman were great at going back and forth, and no one beats Heenan Monsoon. Nothing. It was just fucking pure comedy gold. But nowadays, it's like three people, and like there's just like a random person they bully on. It's like, ah, oh, you're a fucking idiot. Ah, I'm like, all right. I don't know. I miss the 2-man booths, and I miss good commentary.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Because usually, right now, I notice a trend. It's either three people, one guy doing color, one guy being cool, and then one guy who's just there for all the butts of the joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's usually a 3-man booth. And then the 2-man booth is usually someone really, really good with someone that's not so good. You know what I mean? It's like Kevin Kelly and some random guy, So, yeah. And I never thought I'd say Kevin Kelly's doing good. Times have changed. Times have changed. Good for you, Kevin Kelly. If you listen to the podcast, give yourself a Barry Horowitz. I'm sure Kevin Kelly's 1 hour into Wrestle AM. That's what I'm gonna go with. Oh man, I think we've had Kevin Kelly on the show before. I don't know. That was probably back in radio days.
Yeah, not since I've been here.
Oh yeah, I'm old. That's the moral of the story.
Yes, yes, you are.
All right, like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna lie to my friends to say I'm hanging out with other friends and play NHL and go to sleep. I think that's a good plan. Booms.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a great idea.
See you next week. And if I don't suck, there'll be some stumped idiots this week.
All right.
Did I say like, comment, subscribe? I think I did. And with
Yes,
that, I am over. Bum, 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 bum.